My name's Janaea, and today I'm going to be going over all the series that I'm currently in the middle of. Well, not all, because I did this list, like I was making a list to do this video, and I had over 25 series I was in the middle of. So I'm going to do the 15 series that I'm in the middle of that I want to continue soon. 4 series that I DNF'd and will never get back into reading, and 1 that I wish the author would continue, but so far has not. So let's get started, because this is gonna be a long one. Okay, so the first series that I am currently in the middle of is Unplugged by Donna Fratieri's. I can never pronounce her last name. I feel so bad. Anyway, this is about a girl named Sky who you live your life in virtual reality. And you live your life, so she gets plugged in when she's 3 or 5, I can't remember. And she goes with a host family, and she's supposed to be allowed to unplug and go visit the real world and her family who have stayed behind in the real world when she's 16 or 17. And something big happens and they're not allowed to unplug anymore. So she's stuck in virtual world, and it's her trying to get to be able to unplug so she can see her family and figure out what's going on with their world and ours. So super good. It's a sci-fi that I'm not super into sci-fi, and I know some people are like, sci-fi is in space. This is not an in space, but because it's so technology based, I consider it sci-fi. So anyway, but it is really good. Unplugged, I loved it, and I didn't think I would, so I cannot wait to continue on with this series. The second series that I'm currently in the middle of is the Fever series by Karen Marie Moning, and I have read the first 5 books multiple times, and then she wrote more. I think there's 5 or 6 more now, so I'm continuing on. Well, I just finished Shadow Fever, which is the 5th book, and I'm going into the first one in the newish series that I haven't read yet. So I'll be reading that one soon, I hope. But great series. If you like Fae and Ireland mythology and stuff like that, you would love this. This follows a girl named Michaela who goes to Ireland because her sister has been murdered, and she goes to get her belongings and try to get justice for her sister, and she gets thrown into a world she didn't know exists. Super, super good. Love it. I think everyone should read the series. However, I would say that there's a trigger warning for rape, there's a trigger warning for abuse, and there is some very graphic sexual scenes, so I recommend you being at least 18 years or older to read these books. Just my opinion. But they're really, really good. I highly, highly recommend them. The third series that I am currently in the middle of, I just finished the first book for, and that is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. And I loved Stalking Jack the Ripper. It was really good. It follows our main character, Audrey Rose, who is different than most girls in the 1800s. She wants to be a forensic person. She wants to learn about anatomy. She wants to be more of a doctor type person. So she is trying to live in this society where men rule, but try to be her own individual person. It's really excellent. I really, really enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and the only reason I didn't give it a 5 was because who Jack the Ripper was a little predictable to me, but I still wanted to know why and what caused this to happen. So it did its job. Number 4 series that I'm in the middle of is Flame in the Mist by Renee Adier, and I'm super excited to read the second one. I loved Flame in the Mist a lot. This is loosely based on Mulan. But it's about a girl who is on her way to her betrothed's kingdom, and her carriage gets attacked and she's left for dead, and she changes her appearance to see if she can get vengeance and revenge for what has happened. I loved it. A lot of people have iffy feelings about it. I enjoyed it. It was a great story. So the 5th book, or the 5th series that I'm in the middle of, was kind of a fluke. I didn't realize it was a series, and I wasn't sure I was going to like it, but I picked it up at my library for like $1. So that is the Jess Tennant series by Jane Casey. The first book is called How to Fall, and that was about Jess, who goes to her mom's hometown where they haven't visited in years, and it's right after her cousin has committed suicide, and everyone thinks they look so much alike, and she's getting weird, glares and stares and everything, and it's about her feeling like suicide was a cop-out for her cousin's death, and her trying to discover what actually happened. It's really good. I highly recommend it. Number 6 is Daughter of the Pirate King, or Siren Queen, by Trisha Levenseller. I'm currently reading Daughter of a Siren Queen, so book number 2. I'm listening to it on audiobook, and I'm having a fantastic time doing that. And I loved the first one. It follows our main character, Alosa, who is the daughter of the Pirate King, who has given her a mission to go and steal these maps from other pirates so they can go to the Siren Island and get all their treasure. And it was really good, the first one. The second one is super good, funny. I like the characters, and I'm enjoying it, so I can't wait for the third. Number 7 is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs, and that one, I wasn't sure I was going to like it at first, but my friend, one of my best friends, recommended the series to me and was like, you're going to love this. So I decided to give it a try, and the first one was hard for me to get into a little bit, but I did really enjoy it, and then I really enjoyed the last 2, thinking the series was done, but it was just announced he's releasing a 4th book, so I'm not done with this one yet. Not because I haven't read them all that are out, but because he decided to release another one, which I'm kind of happy, because I was not exactly thrilled with the way the last one left off. Number 7 is a graphic novel series that I'm in the middle of, and that is Lumberjanes. I've read all the ones that are out at the moment. I think that's volume 8 or volume 9. So currently in the middle of Lumberjanes. Lumberjanes is about a camp for girls, and there's paranormal stuff and mythical creatures and everything, and it's great. I love it. The group of friends is so cute, and the dynamic is wonderful. I just love it. Cannot wait. Number 9 is The Lone City by Amy Ewing. The first one's called The Jewel, and I listened to The Jewel on audiobook, and I loved it. And I just haven't continued. I had started listening to the second one, but then got into a thon and had to stop and just haven't finished it. So I need to finish it because it was really good and I really liked it, but for some reason I just haven't finished it yet. Number 10 is Lady Castle. It's a graphic novel series. I have only been able to find the first one. I don't think any more have come out, and I'm really sad about it because it's a good graphic novel about a group of women who their men go and get killed by a dragon, and they have to learn to survive. They're in this kingdom where men basically told them what to do and told them not to speak, and they were basically only used for what they were good at. Like there's a blacksmith, a lady who's a blacksmith, and you know, she could do that, but she wasn't allowed to, you know, basically be out of line, I guess, is the feel that I got from it. So their men disappear, and they decide that they're gonna have a king, a girl, be the king. No, not a queen. They want to be the king. So I don't know. I loved it. It was really, really good. I'm hoping they come out with another one, but I have not heard anything else about it. So I don't know. 11 is the Wayward Children series by Shannon McGuire. Shannon? I think that's how you pronounce your name. I am not with the rest of everyone on this one. I do want to see where it goes because I did fall in love with a lot of the characters in this series. However, I'm not as, oh my gosh, as everyone else seems to be. I didn't really care for Every Heart or Doorway. I think I gave it a 3 or 3.5 out of 5. I did like the second one. Oh my gosh. Sticks and Bones. That one. I did like that one better because I loved those characters in that one. They were my favorite in the first one too, so. But I haven't read Beneath the Sugar Sky yet, so I'm excited to read that one. And I don't know how many more she's going to do of these series, but I hope we get a book at least for each character, and then it kind of comes full circle into, you know, maybe going back to where they're all at. I don't know, but anyway, I like it. Like, it's not like it's not an enjoyable read. For some reason, I just wasn't as blown away as everyone else was, but I still really enjoyed the series, so I'm going to continue it. If you know anything about it, it reminds me kind of Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, except for these children go through like doors that lead them to other worlds, like Narnia, for instance. No, Narnia is not mentioned, but like that, where they go through doors and they go step into other worlds, and when they come back, they have a hard time adjusting to life because those doors lead them to places they feel like they belong, or at least most of them. And so it's really interesting concept, and I really enjoy it. So I'm excited to continue. I just need to do it. The 12th one, and this is probably gonna shock everyone. I have only read the Immortal Instruments series of Cassandra Clare's. I have not read the Infernal Devices. I have not read Clockwork Angel, Princess, Prince, whatever. I have read the Magnus Bane Chronicles because he is my favorite character, but I haven't read Tales of a Shadow Hunters Academy or whatever it's called. I just haven't gone. And the sad thing is I have them all, like every single book except for the Tales of Shadow Hunters Academy. Don't have that one yet, but I have almost all of them except for Lord of Shadows and the newest one that's coming out. I have Lady Midnight. Like, I just haven't done anything with them, so I'm gonna try to start back up with it. I just feel like the characters in the Immortal Instruments so much that I don't know if I want to get to know new characters. I know that sounds lame and whatever, but and by the way, is anyone else PO'd that they took off Shadowhunters? They canceled the show. I'm PO'd because I really liked the show. I hated the movie, but I really, really liked the show, and so I'm kind of ticked. But anyway, whatever. I don't know if I really need to go into what Shadowhunters is about, but it's about this girl named Clary, and she discovers that she's part of a world she didn't know. It's pretty much the basis for a lot of the books I read. come to think of it. But it's really good, and she fights demons and stuff like that, so I enjoy it. The 13th one, we're getting closer, is Trials of Apollo by Rick Riordan. 13 and 14 go together. I haven't finished Magnus Chase either. So 13 and 14 are Rick Riordan books. The Trials of Apollo, I only have to read the third one. I listened to the first two on audiobook, love them. Oh my gosh, hilarious. I laugh out loud. Magnus Chase, I read the first one but have not finished them, so I need to do that. I love Rick Riordan. I don't know why I'm putting it off. I think it just hasn't fit in with like readathons, and they haven't fit in with what I feel like reading. I don't know, but I will continue these soon. And 15 is the Amulet, the graphic novel series by Kazu Kibuishi. If you've watched my channel at all, you know how much I love this graphic novel series. It's the best so far that I've read. I absolutely love it. So good. It's about a brother and sister whose mom gets kidnapped, and they have to go find her in a world that they didn't know existed. Synopsis for every book Janaea reads. Anyway, and it's really good. They have to save, you know, the world that they've discovered, and I love it. I love everything about it. So, now, on to the 4 series that I will not be continuing on with. Probably ever. And please don't hate me. So the first one is the Pretty Little Liars series by Sierra Shepherd. I read the first 8 books? Is there 8? I think there's like 16 books in this series, and I read the first 8 and 7 or 8, and I was done. I had watched the show. I know what happens. It got spoiled for me in the end of the books, and I didn't like the characters as much in the books as I did in the show. So there's no point in continuing this series, at least to me. I just don't see the point. It wasn't that enjoyable. The show is much better in my opinion, which is rare. So I won't be finishing that. The second one, and this is probably gonna get my head ripped off, I'm sure, is the Maze Runner series. I read the first 3, and I hated them all. I loved the movies. Loved the movies. I hated the books. I kind of liked Maze Runner, kind of, but I hated Scorch Trials, and I hated The Death Cure, and I will not read the Kill Zone or the 4th one that's like a prequel. I won't be reading that. I don't see the point. I don't want to know. I don't care to know. To me, it's much better as a movie than it is as the books, in my opinion. I just don't like the characters in the books. I don't like anything that happens. I just I just don't like it. So I won't be finishing that series. Yeah. The third one, I feel bad for these next 2 because these are like classic series, and people are gonna be like, what is wrong with you? But it's just not for me. The third one I DNF'd is Narnia, the series, the complete series thing. I read like 3 or 4 out of the series, and the only one I liked was A Horse and His Boy. The Horse and His Boy. I loved that one. I touched my heart. I loved it. Every other one I read, which I read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, hated it. I read The Magician's Nephew, did not like it. And I read one other one. I don't even remember what it's called, but I don't like it. I didn't like the movies either, so I don't know what's wrong with me, but it's just not for me. No, it's just not for me. It's fine. Everyone else can love it. It's It's just not my thing. Now, this last one makes me sad that I didn't like it because I wanted to like it so bad. But I cannot get through it without falling asleep and getting so bored that I just put it down and don't go. I've tried many times. And that's the Lord of the Rings, including the Hobbit. I tried Lord of the Rings first. I know. I was obsessed with the Lord of the Rings movies after they came out. I loved Orlando Bloom and Viggo Mortensen and Ian McKellen, I think that's how you say his name. And I loved everything about those movies. And I wanted to love the books so bad. And I just couldn't even finish the first one. And then when the Hobbit movies came out, I tried the Hobbit. I did. I tried. No. Could not do it. I don't know what it is about them, but for some reason I could not. This was years ago though, so I may try them again later on in life, but not anytime soon. I just don't think I could get through them. Which bums me out because like I said, I love the movies. And I know that Legolas does not exist in the books, which saddens me because he's my favorite character. But I still want to read and experience that world in book form. I just can't do it yet. So those are the 4 that I have DNF'd and probably will never read again, except for the last one. I will probably try that one in maybe a few years. Now, one that I wish the author would continue, and I realized there was 2 of these, but the second one no one's ever heard of, at least that I know of, and I can't remember the author's name for the life of me, so I'm just going to mention the one. But that is The Host by Stephanie Meyer. I really wish she would finish that series. I loved The Host. I know The Host is a huge book, like 700, 800 pages or whatever. It was probably still to this day the biggest book I've ever read. But I read it in like 4 days. I loved it. I loved everything about it. And I loved the movie, even though it was different. And I just wanted more of it. And we were supposed to get a series, and then she decided not to, or something. I don't remember what the drama was with it, but for some reason there is not a series. And I am upset about it. I'm still salty. But anyway, those are the series I'm currently in the middle of for whatever reason. Whether it be the author is coming out with another book, or whether it be the book hasn't come out yet, or whether it be I'm just lazy and haven't read them yet. So let me know down below what series you're in the middle of, if you've read any of these series, or what you thought about them. And remember guys, a reader lives 1,000 lives, and so can you. So keep on reading. Bye!